Now, it's been 5 days since Antonio Conte has accused his players of being selfish and reminded everyone of Spurs' perpetual underachievement under these owners, winning close to nothing. I think they did win a League Cup in the year. But still.
Ramos.
Oh, yeah, wow. Now, despite all this, he hasn't been sacked yet. He's still there.
He's still there.
And no, people are like, oh, they're discussing his compensation. Like, as we said, nonsense.
Well,
right?
no, they might,
3 months.
Yeah, but they might say to him, listen, the way you talked about the club is unacceptable. We're not gonna pay you off your remaining wages, but instead, let's find an agreement somewhere. And lawyers are getting involved, which, as you know, because you hate them, it's never easy when lawyers start getting involved. So I really don't think he will be there when the Premier League comes back. I have to be honest. I think Ryan Mason will be in charge. I think even if he still has some support from some players in that dressing room, like Kulusevski. I think he's got his boys there. I think overall, there's a fracture between him and the dressing room, and there must be a fracture between him and Daniel Levy, Joe Lewis, people in that board.
Fabio Paratici.
God, yeah. Imagine.
Now, okay, I'm not a lawyer, right? As I understand it, they can find some clause in his contract and say, this is gross misconduct. This entitles us to sack you immediately without thing. You do that, you go to lawyers for months.
Yeah.
And
it's a long
the amount of money that's involved here, to save $4 million?
Yeah.
Which is what you'd pay him. And in the end, it's going to come down to somewhere in between. I don't know that you need to negotiate and create more instability and sort of stop Ryan Mason from getting to work for that amount of money.
Yeah.
And what you said about the dressing room, it's interesting. We touched upon this before. I'm just going to go over this again, right? Who are the leaders in the dressing room? Harry Kane has said nothing.
Yeah.
But we do know that Harry Kane's been pretty close to Conte, right? Throughout his tenure. I'm assuming Harry Kane's discussion is like, he's certainly not talking about me.
Exactly.
Right?
I was going to say that.
So what do I care?
Yeah.
Eric Dyer is basically Conte's adopted son.
Yeah.
Right?
He told us he was the reincarnation of Maldini, so,
So those two guys are probably the two most important players in the Spurs dressing room in terms of leadership. I think they're the two best players. Two other guys I would have thought are important are, one, Hugo Lloris, not talking about him because he's injured, he's not there, right? And the other one I would have thought in midfield, Højbjerg, who has spoken out.
Yeah.
And he's taken, I think, more of a tentative line. He says, look, I get it. You're unhappy. We've let you down. Please tell me exactly
be
what
more
we've
precise.
done. Right? Be more precise, right?
I mean, it was pretty clear still.
So I think we can say Højbjerg did not like being lumped in with the others, right?
Yeah.
Although was Højbjerg who missed the tackle on the way to the goal. Who knows, right? But who else matters in this dressing room? Who else has any weight? And I always go to this point, right? When people bring up, Chelsea back in the days, it was Terry and Lampard. Who else has that weight?
It's not so much even that, Gav. I think it's just like you can't have a toxic atmosphere, tension between a dressing room, players who feel like, the way he talked, the way he behaves, because they need top four. Right? I think if they don't get top four, as well as not having a manager, can you just imagine? So I can see why it's not an easy decision to take in a way, although it looks easy maybe on paper. Harry Redknapp, who hasn't managed in 6 years and is 76 years old, he's supposedly available to return to Spurs if they need him. Gab, just to finish the season. Should we consider him as an option?
No, I love the fact that he's willing to leave his mansion in Sandbanks and come back. But no.
Please.
The names out there, it's such a grab bag that suggests to me they haven't thought about it, right? I'm just going to read out the names. We don't need to react to them, but it's Pochettino, obviously. Oliver Glasner, who I feel like they watched some on television.
I mean, they played against him at least in the Champions League.
Exactly,
He was there.
Luis Enrique, who I think can hold out for a bigger job, no disrespect to Spurs.
Yeah.
Also not the easiest guy to deal with. Thomas Tuchel, not the easiest guy to deal with. Did Zerbi, the guy just got a new job. I don't know. And Postecoglou, I'd love, because I love Big Ange.
We would love that.
And Thomas Frank. And
just signed a new deal, so good luck by getting
exactly. So I think they're going to take their time to think about this one.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.